Greetings, guys and gals. I'm going to give you a January update, mid-month update on crypto, stocks, and where I think the market may be going. Just quick disclaimer, it's not financial advice or anything like that, just crazy entrepreneur's opinion. You guys might have known that I have been investing since 1992 in real estate and also stocks, and in 2013-14 era there got into cryptocurrency. I built the largest Bitcoin mining facility in Utah in 2014, and in 2017 I sold a good chunk of that and bought massive amounts of commercial real estate. And so I can just share my experience with you. I don't have any formal education on buying stocks and crypto and real estate as far as like college degree stuff, but I have lots of real world experience making money over the last 3 decades. So this is all learned on the street. It's fun. Okay, so let me go into the market update here, and I'm going to be referring to my notes on my computer, so sometimes you're going to see me glance off into like outer space here. But first things first, crypto is on the rise. It went from $800 billion-ish market cap to $1 trillion in just about a week. So it's crazy how fast it's gone up. And this is not a major surprise to me, and it shouldn't be to you, because if you chart out the last few cycles of crypto, this is normal. I mean, sometimes you'll see 80-90% drawdowns or drops in the price of the broad market of crypto, and then you'll see like an amazing rise. You know, I think it was over $3 trillion at its high, and so now, I mean, it dropped to like 850 billion, and now it's kind of on the rise. But a lot of people are asking me, Dan, is it going up? Like, is this it? Did we hit the bottom? I've been getting probably 100 emails a week on that. But remember, crypto follows macroeconomics. And what does that mean? What does macroeconomics mean? Crypto follows the broad market, meaning if stocks go up, crypto will go up in an amplified manner, right? So if you see all stocks go up 5%, you probably will see crypto go up 10, 15, 20, 30%, you know, just depending on the mood of everybody. So it's just an amplified asset class in my mind. The market price is a prediction of the future. So that's why most people are too late when they deploy, because once everybody knows that it's, you know, for sure going to be really great and everything like that, the prices are already way up. And that's why you had these people buy, you know, Bitcoins at over $60,000, you know, all the sheeple, because they thought, oh, well, this is a hot new asset. It's going to 100,000. The tough part is to buy in the, you know, pain of the sale. You know, I made a video, if you scroll back, on the 3rd of January talking about, hey, well, man, we're sitting in this mega sale. And, you know, we made some huge deployments more at that time. I don't do it all at once. You break it up a lot. And I'll explain that dollar cost averaging. But since then, a lot of the positions, you know, that we're in have gone up 100, 180%. I mean, crazy on our, you know, moonshot stuff. Our most stable positions, a lot of those have gone up 20, 30, 40, 50%. So, I mean, we made a crazy amount of money just in the last couple of weeks. Money that, like, in the stock market normally would take us, you know, years to make. So, in a week, right? And it's not even, it's just a spark of what it can be, which is crazy, because with crypto, a lot of crypto is down 90%, 94% now. I mean, it's still so cheap. So it's not too late. So don't FOMO. FOMO means fear of missing out. Don't FOMO out, okay? I'm going to show you in this video how to get involved as well. All right. So real quick, referring to my notes here. Trillions of dollars of national debt. I keep hearing people whining about national debt. Oh my gosh, the US owes 10 trillion, 12 trillion, it keeps going up. You know, and here's the thing. Debt is actually good for the country, because let's say China, Russia, all these other different countries, let's say we owe them money, right? But the thing is, if that debt is based on the US dollar, it validates the power of the US dollar. So if you just Google value of US dollar chart versus value of Japanese yen, there you go. You can see that is like, such an interesting correlation, that the US dollar is held so strong even though we're printing so much of that. And what backs the US dollar? Nukes back the US dollar. That's a big, huge thing, and weapons and military of all kinds, right? That's what keeps the US dollar strong. And it's crazy how it does, but that's what it is. Every cycle, though, you see this mass exodus and dump to cash. I know a lot of you guys and girls sold all your crypto, or a lot of it, and a lot of your stocks, or dumping all real estate and everything. You're just dumping, especially stocks and crypto, because you want to feel safe and secure in cash, keeping powder dry, they call it, right? Now, it's important if you feel like we're going to go into recession to have some cash, but I wouldn't dump everything. If you're having a total panic attack, I always tell people dump some, maybe half. I mean, you may need to dump it all, but I really don't recommend it, because what typically happens, though, is the market will start going up at such a high velocity, and it'll be at all-time highs quicker than you think. And then you're going to be all crap, and you're going to have FOMO, fear of missing out, and then you're going to dump it all in when it's high. So you bought it when it's high, you sold it to feel safe when it's low, and then you jump back on the train when it's high, and you're wondering why your life isn't changing or getting better, And that's problematic, right? So you feel the need to dump, just if I feel like I just need to dump like a position, even just totally dump, but there's still some legs to it, I'm just freaking out emotionally, I'll just usually give it a day or so, but I'll keep half or even just a little bit of it, so that's important. Now, a lot of people ask, Dan, now that the market has rallied 20%, 25%, a lot of crypto is still down 95%. So there's a rule with investing that I do, and this is a psychological thing that's important. We tend to ape in. The word ape in crypto means like put all your chips in. You ever like go to Las Vegas just for fun and play blackjack or poker or anything like that, and you're doing pretty good because you're being patient and you're being smart and you're doing it, and then you get a few drinks in you or whatever it is, and then you get impatient and you go all in and you lose it really fast, right? That's typically what happens to people with investments, as well, is they ape in and then they lose their butt, and then they have like PTSD of investing. Then they sit on the sidelines once they've lost, and then the market goes to all-time highs. Now, the question is do you think crypto and the stock market a year from now or 2 years from now, somewhere between 12 to 24 months from now, will break through all-time highs? Now, you can verify this by simply Googling crypto charts and looking at when market corrections happen. How long did it take for it to recover? You can look at this with stocks as well, and it comes back fast and furious. We just experienced this during COVID. Remember, like when COVID first started, the stock market like way tanked, right? Real estate super tanked, everything, because everyone thought the world was ending. During that time, I deployed millions of dollars into equities meaning stocks, right? And pretty boring, basic stuff, and wrote it up really, really well. And even with the correction that we had in the stock market, it's still way higher now than the dip during the pandemic, right? So that's when you want to have courage, when things are getting a little dicey. And it's hard for people to have courage when they're sitting in the sale. So how do you get courage to do this? Okay, I'm going to tell you what's worked for me. The one thing that I do is dollar cost average. I keep talking about DCA, dollar cost average. And what does that mean? Okay, let's say you have a Netflix payment of $20 a month, or a car payment of $1,000 a month, or $2,000, wherever you're driving, right? If you invest like it is a bill, you will just pay it every month. So what you can do is, like, I use Fidelity and Schwab and a few other brokerages, right, for stocks. I have it so that it comes out of my checking account every single month. And it takes out, X number of dollars a month. And this amount that I invest is not an amount so large that I'm having an anxiety attack. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't feel like I'm gambling. I feel like I'm paying a bill. You can do that with crypto as well. And if you do it that way, you're going to not have as much anxiety and not panic sell when things go crazy, okay? There's a few more notes here I want to give you a lot of stuff. I haven't done an update like this in a while, so I know I'm going a little crazy here. I've been getting a ton of messages about Ugly Unicorn Hedge Fund. So we outpaced the market by insane percentages. If you are interested in the Ugly Unicorn Crypto Hedge Fund, Bridger Pennington is my partner. His dad, John Pennington, is my good friend. His fund now, his dad's fund, John's fund, is like over $40 billion in multifamily real estate. 40 billion. Crazy. Bridger is a genius. He has transacted a couple very large funds, and that's why I partnered with him, because he's in charge of compliance with the government and all the regulations and all the legal and all that kind of stuff. He is a pro at that, and he's phenomenal. But we outpace the market crazy significantly. To be in our fund, you have to be an accredited investor, okay? You can Google the requirement, but basically it's like more than $1 million in net worth besides your primary residence. There's some income qualifications per year. I know that's kind of a moving target sometimes. I think it was like 300,000 or something like that for like a married couple. But you can Google it just to verify 23 standards. But what will happen though is if you want to get into our fund, we'll walk you through it, a deck. We'll verify your accreditation to make sure that you're the net worth amount that qualifies to invest, and then you can deploy in. The minimum requirement is $100,000 investment. A lot of people are coming in at $500,000 to $1 million. We have a lot of high net worth individuals in our fund. The beauty about it is if you're in our fund, obviously you can come to our events that we have. We give you a very special treatment, but you get to meet the other guys and gals in the fund that are very, 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 high net worth people that own businesses and have lots of experience. We got a lot of older people in the fund too, because a lot of people manage their own crypto. Like they went to Coinbase, or maybe they were like in FTX or one of those ones that went out of business, and they lost everything. A lot of these people before, right? And so they're like, look, I want exposure, but if crypto drops a massive amount, I don't want to have a lot of downside risk. Now, we can't guarantee returns on anything, but from the performance we had in 2022, we far outpaced the market. I mean, we just freaking cranked it, and we go over all those numbers. Now, our numbers are reported by a third-party admin, and then we have a fourth-party audit, annual audit. This is really important because if you guys ever heard of Bernie Madoff, he's that guy that sold billions of dollars for investors. They didn't have third-party and fourth-party audits on that, or admins. And the problem with that, though, is then they could just make up whatever numbers they want and throw them at you, and it could be total fraud, right? So you want to have a third-party admin in any sort of fund you're investing in, and hopefully a fourth party that comes and runs an annual audit, okay? So that's important stuff there. But I want to give some action items to you. Oh, one last thing. Thank you guys. I got my blue check. So all those fake Gans millionaire accounts that are hitting you up, block them, obviously. But unless you see my blue check from a message, if I reply or you're messaging someone, it's not real. It's a fake account. So just look for that blue check. And even so, hackers are crazy, I will never direct message you to send us, me, my partner, our entities, crypto over Instagram. Like, that's never, ever going to happen. I'm not going to ask you to, send me money or anything over Instagram. That's just like freaking crazy. If anyone asks you to send you money over Instagram or social media, it's probably some scammer account trying to rip you off. So just block them and report them with that. Okay, here's action items of how you can think about starting to invest. With dollar cost averaging, you could set up a brokerage account at the brokerage you choose, okay? And a lot of people ask me, should I use a hard wallet, USB key like a Ledger, or should I use Coinbase or not? My rule with Coinbase, personally, is I don't keep more than $100,000 at Coinbase, because they are a centralized exchange, meaning that if they do go bankrupt and explode, you could lose all your money, so there's no guarantees from the government or anything on your crypto, So I always say educate yourself on getting a Ledger key. The Ledger Nano X is the one that I use, and understanding how to use hot wallets and stuff like that to connect and all that. I'll make a deeper video on that maybe later this week, okay? But dollar cost averaging into crypto now, and also stocks. And what do you want to look for? What do you want to buy? I cannot give you stock and crypto position information or which companies or what cryptos to buy. But what I would tell you to do is you can look at the NASDAQ. So if you look at the Dow Jones Index, it's an index of a bunch of different stocks. S&P is another one. The NASDAQ index is another one. You could look at some of the top holdings of the NASDAQ, and you could talk to a financial pro, do your analysis, and make your decisions there. So, and I wouldn't pick too many different things. I usually like to pick a small handful of really good companies that I like, and that's what I typically invest in. And I go a little bit heavier. Now, there's some moonshot stuff, and you could think about doing that if you want, but I like to pick companies that are profitable. I believe are going to be in business, and there you go. With crypto, you can look at, let's say, the top crypto market cap, meaning the largest size of value invested in there. And you can go to a place called CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap, and you can see like the order, like Bitcoin obviously being number one, Ethereum being number two, blah, 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 a whole list. There's a thing called stable coins, and those are coins that are like based or trying to mirror the US dollar. So one coin, $1, right? Exclude all those unless you really just want to buy those, but you can look at all the other ones that are very large ecosystems. And I like to buy stuff that has a lot of project development within that ecosystem. Just for example, I'm not saying this is what you want to buy, but like Ethereum has so many projects that are under its wing that it's not super dependent off just a few projects, right? So that's, one to maybe do your research on and make your own decisions on. There are some other phenomenal ecosystems. I made a mistake, actually, which is interesting. There was a particular token ecosystem that we've been holding for a long time, and it was just sideways, and you're not able to stake or collect yield on it. What does that mean? Well, there's ways where if you hold a token, right, you can pair that token in what's called a liquidity pair, or single-sided staking. And what that means in English is you can essentially borrow out your tokens through a decentralized exchange, right, which is basically not, well, you could through Coinbase, but decentralized meaning it's not centralized, where you can take those tokens and provide liquidity. So when people trade, they're using your tokens in a sense, and they pay you interest. Think about it as like owning a house and collecting rent on the property. You hope the house value goes up, but you want to collect rent so you have some cash flow. A lot of people ask, well, how did your fund way outpace the market when the market dropped? Are you guys miracle workers? No. What we do a lot in our fund is we provide liquidity to decentralized exchanges, right? And so when someone buys and sells one crypto to another, there's a fee that's paid, and typically the exchange keeps it. But if they're using our money, we at the Ugly Unicorn Fund take that money and give the majority of that to our investor pool, right? Back to our investors. So it's tough. I mean, we got to watch this thing like, all my guys are watching it like crazy hours, 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning stuff, because a lot of the news comes internationally, and especially the news from Asia, and it hits here at a really weird time, like in the middle of the night. So we're always really trying to stay diligent and focused on the most current occurrences. You know, we actually were able to, it was funny, I wasn't in Luna, Terra, Do Kwon's thing, but we were able to, like, I got a text message saying Luna was depegged from the dollar, or Terra was depegged from the dollar, excuse me. What does that mean, depegged? Well, there was a stable coin, right, Terra, and it was based on $1. Like, the idea is that it's worth $1. Well, a depeg means suddenly it's trading at 90 cents, 95 cents, less than $1, right? So if something depegs on a stable coin really bad, that means that there's some problems there and it could just blow up, right? So I had a bunch of friends texting me, oh crap, Dan, dude, that thing depegged over 10%. Holy crap, and I was trying to let as many friends that I know here in the US that there was this depeg. Some friends got the text message and they were able to save themselves millions of dollars of losses because they were holding so much of this. A lot of friends couldn't do anything. In fact, some waited a few days later and their money went essentially to zero. Pretty sad. But that's why people get into our fund. So unless you can watch crypto 24/7 and you got a whole team of guys and girls watching it overseas, everywhere, it's probably hard to manage it yourself on that larger scale if you're doing really crazy stuff. So that's why we have our fund, and we make a little bit of money to manage super wealthy people's money, accredited investors and hires money, and bring them good returns. So, all right, guys. So your action items: explore dollar cost averaging, set up a brokerage account. I'm not telling you one that you have to. I don't get paid by brokerage accounts or whatever to like pitch them or anything, but Fidelity is one that I like. It's super easy, but it's also old school and has good charts and information and stuff like that. I use the Ledger Nano X myself. I use a hot wallet called Rabby, which is really nice. I like it better than MetaMask in combination. So if you want to do the hard wallet aspect, you can do that. It's got a lot better security protocol on it, I think. But whatever you do, again, if you're having anxiety because you feel like, gosh, I'm investing too much, like, taper it down. And it's okay to put in super small amounts that you're not going to lose sleep over, though. Because I think in the long run, if you do this year over year over year over year, you're going to find yourself having exponential, wins, though. And the question to ask yourself is, now the time to buy crypto or stocks or whatever it is? Look, where do you think the market's going to be in a year or two? What do you think from doing your research? So I would spend some time looking at some of those charts, let's say if you have an iPhone, or you can do that. If you have an Android, you can too. I think you can pull stock charts on there too. But you can look at like the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Just look at it over like 25, 30, 40, 50 years or whatnot. And you can see, like, look, there's downs, but it always seems to kind of go down and higher and down and higher and down and higher. Same thing with crypto. So again, do your own research. None of this is financial advice, just a sharing of experience. Now, if you found this video helpful, there's one thing that I got to ask you to do is just share it on your social media. Please, please, please share it so we can help more people get educated and not make stupid moves and not panic and not do crazy things. And also, while we're sitting in the sale and maybe entering even more of a recession, not get totally slaughtered. So that's it, man. I will report back to you guys later this week. Love you guys.